Smartdoll Land may be closed for the holidays, but we're still here.
It's the last Monday of 2024, and this is your Smartdoll News.
This is what we do now.
This is our thing. We do this now? Happy holidays, everyone. Hope you had a nice Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. And it's almost a new year.
Christmas, Hanukkah, happy Festivus, whatever you celebrate. We hope your December has been good, and hope you're ready for 2025. We've got some stuff because we've been away from the game for the past few weeks now, actually like 3, other than the video tours of the Smartdoll Studios, which we hope you have seen.
If you haven't, the part 2 is up. Go check it out. We kind of snuck it in there during the holidays.
Yeah, which is always bad for the views, but it'll get there eventually. We hope you have enjoyed that look inside, the kind of behind the scenes of Smartdoll. And we'll be talking a little bit tonight as we go about like 2025 plans for Smartdoll, and maybe we should do. I think what we'll do is maybe we'll do a little Q&A.
At the end?
Yeah.
Sure, we can do that.
If I can remember how to do that properly. I think it should show up.
So Lee said she's obsessed with our glasses. Hair is very, very cool. I'm wearing them tonight. I use these for my sunglasses, but I'm wearing them tonight because I wanted to wear my Christmas frames.
All right. I think we're ready. Let's get into it. So, yeah, as we said, Smartdoll is in holiday mode. What does that mean, Sandy?
There is no, you can put things in your cart, but you can't check out until, what is it, the 6th? Is that correct?
Yeah, January 6th, the store will be back online. So this pretty much happens every year. They will shut down so the team doesn't have to, like, deal with, they've gotten the rush of the holidays out of the way for people getting presents, for somebody, but time to take a break. Everyone take a breather, and you can start ordering again in about a week.
I really like this picture that he put up.
Yeah. So we hope you're not too disappointed. I did see some, people getting confused online with like there not being official notice until you check out.
It's up there though. There's a banner.
There's a banner up top.
Yeah.
So I mean, nobody pays attention to banners sometimes.
It doesn't matter how many notices Danny puts up. People will always miss what he says.
And that goes for anything. We tend to be focused on the thing we're trying to go for, which is basically the buy button. All right, so we've got that, and we do still have some new releases that have come out. I mean, this might be a little bit old news for all, if you're keeping up with Twitter. But.
And we've been avoiding buying, but these two girls, so tempting.
Yeah, we saw them coming last time at the beginning of December, and he was asking about like which one first, and they've both released now. Very, very, very cool. I like the. I don't know. It's. Have you been tempted by the getting another gray?
Well, getting the pair collection.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to have the pairs. So I just got a Marvel pair. Well, got Marvel. She's only pair, but I just got Marvel in coffee.
Yeah.
I really do like her in tea. In gray, but I think it's only because of the wig and the eye color. Like, I think I would still prefer Deborah with purple eyes and that wig cut.
Is there a pair girl like that hasn't been released that you would want? Because we have both of these.
Right. Yeah, we have both of
Is
these.
there somebody that you would rather have?
I think those are
versus-
the only two in gray so far.
Yeah, I'm saying like it is like, are you maybe waiting for something? Is there another girl that you would want, or would you like, assuming that this is not the end? I know Gray is gonna get wrapped up ish, somewhat soon, but
The anime girl. Maybe.
like a Gray cheat, or would you want like Gray pair prowess maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
But because we don't have, well, we have Gray. Do we have Gray? I can't keep track, people. Do we have Gray prowess?
No.
I mean, do we have? No, we don't have Gray prowess. No, not
The
regular.
only gray girls we have are Future and Transcendence.
Right. Okay, we'll figure that out. So yeah, they came out. We also got Chitose pair,
Yeah, super cute.
and this is in the new pair anime sculpt. So you'll see Danny talking about this constantly, but as we've said in the past and have shown pictures of, there are blemishes, pock marks and things under the chin, right in the eyeshadow on one of the eyes. I think there's like a raised thing behind one of the ears. So buyer be warned. The sculpt does, it's not perfect based on some of the issues that they've had getting the molds produced. Which, if you want some behind the scenes understanding of why that happens and how the molds work, be sure to check out the part 2 of the Smart Doll tour that we released last week.
Which skin tone is your favorite here?
I don't know, but John says John is hinting to give a gift. Not really. I was just wondering if we were holding out for somebody. Cayman Faces just got a Smart Doll delivery. Let us know who you got. So what was your question?
I asked you which skin tone you like best for Chi.
So we've got cinnamon, tea, and coffee, and I don't know. I feel like I've actually really I like tea, Chitose tea, Chitose Multiverse in tea. I have these. I think I'm on cinnamon for this, although coffee is pretty cute.
I kind of lean coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think coffee is very, very cute. But I don't know, the cinnamon cinnamon. Tea, not so much.
It may also just be the photo. It's hard to say. The whatchamacallit, the coloring on the photo is a little bit kind of grayed out. But who knows? I mean, we know what T looks like. She's very cute either way. Lots of Team Coffee in the chat. Let's see, what else did we get? Cruel to Be Kind.
So cute.
I mean, with, little blue Pippi Longstocking going on.
We were able to get a look at her in the brain bank at Smart Doll Land.
Yeah, he showed us her head. This is Kreia.
Yeah.
And that's the code name for her, which in part 1 of the tour, you can see him pull out and show her off. New eyes, are most of them on the Beholder eyes?
I think at this point.
They look great. Really enjoying the new eyes.
Cami Face said that's what she got today. It was Cruel to Be Kind.
Fantastic. So Cami, you could tell us, like, did she come styled with those, or did they? I can't remember. Like,
I think that he said that it's not gonna come that way. He tells you how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's it's still that sort of wolf cut, long shaggy wig.
Gotcha. And Cami Faye confirms, nope, not styled. All right. Now, we also have some previews. We've seen this girl a few times over the month.
Her.
And this would be the second the second girl on the new. No, never mind. This is just a new anime girl. She's not Pear. So this is, I believe, on the canonic sculpt, and she looks pretty good.
I like her a lot. I like her a lot, and I love that wig. She looks so elegant. She has a real elegant face.
Yeah, there's sort of she's got a little bit of moment going on, a little sort of soft glamour thing happening, and this is naughty but nice. You can start to, you know, we're in the phase of naming where Danny is doing like juxtapositions, naughty but nice, cruel to be kind. We'll see how long the theme lasts. We're also gonna get prowess in Pear.
That's a lot. Proud prowess.
Proud power. It's the 3 Ps. And I think we saw a preview of this a while back. But now that the anime Pear sculpt, that would be the M2 sculpt, is out, we're gonna start seeing more Pear anime.
Yeah. I mean, she's adorable, and I am very, very glad that the Pride colors are being done, but I'm just waiting to see her in gray or black navy.
Like regular prowess gray, yeah. Yeah, very cute. We also got an update on the boys. The masks are basically done, although I guess they have some fine tuning to do. It's hard to tell, but my guess would be like some of the edging on like the eyebrow may not be, you know, quite perfect yet.
So this was the 2 different wigs.
Yeah, so he showed us the boy in brown, and these are actually different colorations. It's hard to tell. Quite honestly, this is probably an optical illusion. The makeup may be the same, but
I think
no.
it is. I think that's the.
No, this is brown. It's hard to tell on the eyebrows.
So that
this
must
is
be
gray,
the blue metal version.
essentially. Although it's not nearly as blue metal, like it's not in the eyebrows like it is on some of the other dolls. But I believe it is it's either gray or bluish gray on the eyeshadows, whereas here you have a brown. In the eyeshadows.
I really like the blue-gray wig. I like the brown coloring on the boy better. But then again, it's like he's Gemini. He almost gives you Gemini 2.0. You know?
Yeah. Well, sure. I mean, I think for a base and for flexibility, I wouldn't necessarily come out of the gate with fantasy colorations. I would probably want to see brown for versatility. Although I will say this: the gray, if you were to take the wig off, I think the blue wig would work. Like, I think the brown, you could swap these wigs and be roughly okay. I think the coloration scheme that he's doing, the changes, are subtle enough that it's not going to make a huge difference. So if he decided he really liked, you know, the blue metal.
Soup to Boop says, I really wanted to see them next to Classic and a Pear. Is he a short king? Well, in the past, they've been a little bit taller. The spine has been a little bit longer. But I think is there an evolved frame for the boy, or is he just fitting it?
Oh, no, it's an evolved frame, so they fit a little bit better. So they're probably just slightly shorter than they were, but they're not short kings. They're not. They should be. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, they should be roughly the same height as the other boys, which I think is a little bit taller.
A little bit taller than the girls.
Tempestard, I thought he said boys later on your visit, Cortex 2 and Cortex Pair. Yes, that was what he's working on. I suspect that we may still see a boy drop. because one of the other things in the boy development is the development of a new boy body. So what we do know here is these are all using the old
shell.
body. Yep.
The old shell with the evolved frame.
Yes. So, and we know the evolved frame has helped solve some of the like shoulder connection issues and things that they had previously on the boy bodies. So yeah, no new like big macho guy, but it's basically as you see here. So I think there's a chance. There's a chance that we see this mixed in for this first boy release to, two releases earlier in this next year. But as far as like concentrated development, yes, the latest statement from Danny is Cortex 2, Cortex 2 pair, and then the boys. Catechit says, after boys, Danny should make dolls with dwarfism. I don't know. I mean,
that would require an entirely new frame.
Yes, definitely is a departure. It's not to say that I don't think he would do that, but I know the logistics would probably make him think twice.
I think especially since he hasn't made a small girl yet or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's hard to say. Cornflower Blue says, will the slim chest and arms fit the evolve frame?
It should.
Yep. As far as we know, all those parts should fit just fine. Temperature says, Dolphy Dream's sister boy is short. I wouldn't call them a king, though. Too pubescent. Yeah. Those are really just, like, they're more in line. I mean, they're on the sister body, so they're more in line with, like, I guess depending on what you determine their height equaling their age. But Dolphy Dream just basically is like, these are younger kids. Especially if you start to put on the more anime sculpts on them. Yeah.
New bags. Snazzy. I like them with the white with the orange edition. It's very good.
Yeah, inspired by, I don't have the notes in front of me, but inspired by a Trader Joe's bag that was sent to him by...
I think Squishdelia.
Yes, I believe that you are correct. So these are, recycled materials. He does warn you that they're, the content of the material itself is going to vary in terms of like specs of various things. But they do have a really nice collapsibility.
Yes. Folding them, being able to fold them up is very nice.
Yep. Yeah, considering our large collection of canvas bags at this point, like that's handy. So Barbara says, aren't these like the old smartdoll bags? I don't know if the old ones were recycled or not, but I believe, yes, that these are more similar.
It's more similar to that than the thicker canvasy cotton.
Let's see. Soup Dupe says, on the timeline, I feel like boys after Cortex and Cortex pair was said before he was retooling the Cortexes for better component space, and that could delay them, whereas the boys seem ready to go. Yeah, like I said, I think when he talked to us about it in, end of October, when we were out in Japan, we know that there's a bunch of development that he's still working on, like that big macho body,
Right. I think what the confusion here is we're not saying regular boys will come after Cortex. We're saying that Cortex boys will come after Cortex and Cortex pair. The boys was, he's still going to release the boys.
I mean, he did just say boys. So, and we haven't even heard about Cortex boys at all.
Right.
I mean, it's likely, but I think, again, what he's talking about is he's been developing an entirely new shell, new body for the boys.
For the boys, right.
That is after Pear, as far as he's saying right now. Will he do a release? I think we probably have a small batch release of this boy that he's been working on.
Because the reason that he's using the current shell with the Evolve frame because it works and because people have been demanding boys.
Yeah.
So he actually put a poll about it a while ago and said, do you guys want boys on, you want this shell on the frame in order to get boys sooner.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
So just a guess on our part, development wise, we know Cortex 2, then Cortex Pair, then the new boy bodies. Like he's been fairly clear about that. All right. We also have this nightmare fuel. Blah. So in part one of our tour, he talked about the pocket doll. We actually saw at the end of that video, Danny discovered the masters of the master of the pocket doll mold
had
warped in, sitting underneath some other stuff in a bucket. And then when they did a run of this, so this is the mannequin. This is the bottom half of the mannequin, which component wise, what are we talking about, Sandy? What's the difference between the mannequin and a regular doll?
Well, there is no movement in the legs at all. It's basically a statue from underneath the bust down.
Right. Then we have a bust and a head. Mm-hmm. And then I believe we have articulated arms, but they're no elbows.
Right. Or wrists, just the shoulder.
Yeah. So articulation in the shoulder. So this is, what the heck is the point of this product?
It's designed to put it out there so that creators can start building things for a pocket doll sized body. Yeah. So, and then eventually, hopefully, we will get a pocket doll.
So in trying to do a run of the mannequin, and he talks about he talked with us about this a couple of different times, but there can be a lot of issues with molds with basically suction forces. And when you have a long mold like the legs, and especially like this, because we're not talking the normal molds are like a shin and a thigh. Oh, thank you, Barbie Witch.
Thank you.
Barbie Witch says Close Encounters of the Doll kind.
Yeah, it's weird.
I will say this: last week or so, I picked up the remake of Silent Hill 2, and this picture kind of came out around the same time, and it seriously is very disturbing. But you've got basically all this force as you're pulling out from one end, and that it's got to make it through that mold and pull out. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you can even just see there in terms of a lot of it's happening at the ankle and around the knees and stuff.
And look at what's happening like on some of them, even the far left one. Look what's happening up in the crotch area. Yeah. It's widened out and then the leg splayed.
Oh God, the one in the middle here is just horrifying.
Yeah.
And the arms. So,
you know what it's giving? It's giving Silent Hill.
Well, yeah, that was.
Yeah, did you say that?
Yes.
I didn't hear it.
I've been playing Silent Hill 2 for the past week.
I did not hear you say that. But that one in the middle really does look like it. I watched him play it one day and I was like, what the heck are these things?
Yeah, there's these weird, crawling, amputated
torso
groins. They're not, I don't even know if you can call them, no, I guess they are torsos, because they're torsos with upper arms and upper legs, and that's it. It's just freaky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the arms, this screams Slender Man. What do we think this means, considering he had this massive issue with these?
Well, definitely a delay on the mannequins coming out for sure. Possibly Pocket Doll. I mean, like I'm wondering, is Pocket Doll going to go Cortex?
Yeah, well, this is that. I mean, to be clear, that's not a Cortex Pocket Doll.
No.
This shows you just how long these legs are, because the legs have become almost the size of, or maybe that. I mean that. Yeah, almost the size of a regular doll. I think that's what our size comparison here is for.
Yeah.
That it's crazy. So what we do know is he is going to be putting these into chaos bundles,
So
or
people might end up with some of these weird,
possibly vinyl shell bags. I'm not sure which. And they're going to have to fold them in half just to get them in the packages. Which is insane to me.
They're very, very weird. Part of me would like to have one, but what would you do? Hang it on the Christmas tree?
Yeah, so that is.
It's like a weird rubber chicken kind of thing.
Yeah. So, do we think that this delays Pocket Doll?
Yes,
You think so?
I do. I mean, like I said, I'm wondering why, if Pocket Doll could be made in Cortex, that would be very cool. Like, even if we could put them together and have a Cortex one, even if the one that comes out later is going to be vinyl, like, to have a Cortex one to build clothes on would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just a matter of what's easier to develop. The injection molded Cortex versus the vinyl. But we do know he also, I think them getting, assuming he's going to have vinyl, I think he needs to do vinyl first, because it's easier to make Cortex match the vinyl than it is to make vinyl match the Cortex.
Right.
It's because of issues like this, for instance. But we'll see. We know at the very least this delays creators being able to start making patterns for this.
Dolls Rescued says, I personally would wait for the Pocket Doll and not buy a mannequin. I think it's honestly it's for people who want to get, for businesses that sew for them.
Yep.
And make shoes and make all kinds of, that want to get ready for it. And also for, for people that are just desperate for a small doll to carry around, because smart dolls are not tiny.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even venture to say it's for people who are desperate for a small doll. Like, this is not designed to be a doll per se. It doesn't really move at all.
Yeah, but I still, people would use it for that. They would dress it up and take it with them to conventions and things like that.
Maybe.
I mean, the arms do move as much as an old school Barbie arm moves.
Yeah, but they have a wide leg stance. You can't adjust them. They are meant to stand there. I don't know. I would not recommend, when these do come out, that people who aren't making clothes and who don't want an early, unless you want to throw money away, you want to collect it or whatever. I wouldn't bother with most people buying the mannequin. Again, I think it's really, really designed for people who are going to be making patterns, which is not a huge.
To just kind of get a start on it. I mean, personally, I would rather, even to sew for, I would much rather have a doll that moves fully and I can put in an actual neutral position.
Yeah. What are the challenges you think you would have making patterns on the smart doll mannequin?
I don't know if it's a challenge. It's just certain additional things you have to take into account, like the position of the legs and how things fit. Like if you're making pants and stuff like that. I mean, if you're making
how they sit in the pants.
Yeah. So you just have to take into account the fact that that doll's got a leg that's turned, and you know, when you make your pattern, you should make it for a doll whose legs move. You know,
right. So if you're going like, I wouldn't do like skin tight stuff on.
Probably not to start with.
Unless you've got a lot of stretch to the fabric.
Right. Stretch fabrics, that's totally fine. It's probably going to be one of the easiest things to work with on it.
Yeah.
But definitely it can make dresses on it and stuff like that.
Lanny Mike says the mannequins are good for shop displays. Yeah, I mean, you know, if depending on, you know, the size or like, I don't know how... For something like displays, like you would probably want multiples. Like I look at
Elite Doll World.
Yeah, like Katya from Elite Doll World has like behind her when she's live streaming and stuff like that, you can see, or even just the pictures, all these various dolls. But even for that, for like product shots, I wouldn't use the mannequin. You know, you want to have some energy.
But if you're at it, like for example, going to a con, you know, and you're selling stuff for the pocket doll, they make a good doll to set up there and put clothes on.
Yeah, and again, I'm not arguing the benefits of a pocket doll. What I'm saying is the pocket doll mannequin. I don't even know how many we're gonna get. So we'll see. But wait for the pocket doll. In all likelihood, you know, you're gonna want to have the real doll ultimately. So this is like a head start for some people.
Someone asked, is it 1/6? It's closer to 1/4.
Yeah.
Danny couldn't. I asked what even the head size was, and Danny was like,
It is what it is.
It's not a standard size. It is what it is. I forget what he did. Throw a number out there in the video. I think it's in the video, but I don't remember what he said.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I put this up there, but I didn't continue reading it. Sutu's point was at the scale, what they find interesting about smartdoll kind of disappears, and I think Danny definitely has an eye for that as well, and I think this is the smallest you go before you start to lose that. And again, it's the availability, you start to, the things like notions and the size of notions the scale starts to, you have to simplify things, and the eye kind of glosses over a lot of stuff, whereas at the the normal smart doll scale, smart doll scale, those details are really obvious. All right. What else we got? A whole lot of red dots. Yes. Shall we play a game? This is not War Games. This is Danny's heat map of customers in the United States. And he actually started to release kind of like a list of the breakdown of the top states and, in America.
No, percentage of customers in America in each state.
Yeah, so it was top 30 states and then the breakdown in that top 30. So percentages are not anything... like these are contained to the top 30. So this is not like all of these numbers equal 100%.
Right.
So it kind of, but when you're dealing with 1% here of this is going to go down even further as you start to get into the stragglers, and we're talking about much less densely populated areas and things like that. So I feel like the top 30 is a pretty good telling of where people are located. Which I think the reason he started bringing this up is he's been talking about like what is 2025 going to look like for events, and what where's it going to be. He mentioned like Seattle is kind of he's been there, done that.
There. Yep. And he just did San Francisco. I mean, LA is always a possibility. And then, then you get number 2 is Florida. There's a lot in Florida.
Yep.
You know.
You got Florida, Texas, New York. He's also talked about like changing the types of events that he's gonna be doing. Now, typically he's been doing anime events.
And now he's looking at doing more STEM and design events.
Yeah. So, for instance, like he's talked multiple times. I don't know if he's talked. I know I've talked to him personally about it, and I forget how often he's actually said it, but he has looked multiple times at DesignCon or DesignerCon, which is I believe in LA, and looking at things that are like that's more like toys and things like that. So now we're talking about like because of Cortex 2 and the being really this playground for coding your own little Arduino circuit boards and things like that, of doing it in those types of like and more engineering electronics sort of focused events.
Yeah, I mean especially like I know it's stereotypical and everything, but like in some places, especially in the United States, with like the disparity in education, the education gap and stuff like that, girls in STEM, smartdoll could be very influential in that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't know yet where he's going to go, but he is in application process and will be, of course, letting the community know as soon as he actually has real plans. I did also take a look at this now that we have an idea. He's always put out these types of maps before, but, it's kind of hard to understand this necessarily. Although I think we've had look at these and sometimes it feels like one of those dots is like one person.
Yeah, I think Lee said she like looks at it and goes, "Oh, look, it's me and John and Sandy."
Yeah. So obviously from this sort of macro level, it's a lot harder. But, I got to imagine, I feel like you can like just look at like how many people subscribe to like Danny Chu's YouTube channel, things like that. Like, I think you could get a rough idea of the number of customers. But working with these numbers in terms of like, these are the locations where his people are and the relative size to each other.
This has nothing to do with actual sales either. This is, it does in some way, but...
This is customers.
This is number of customers. So, you could have somebody in Nevada spending, $100,000 a year with him, and, California could be, they haven't bought anything in like 2 years, but they're in his database.
But to me, the interesting sort of thought exercise here is where would be the best places for Danny to do events that can get the most people. So I actually went through here and kind of grouped things by location to, and kind of including surrounding areas, drivable and possibly flyable, to see like what are the sort of best places to have events and like what the breakdown is. So here's what I came up with. LA still tops. You can pull in from you've got California, Oregon, Arizona, Nevada. They're not even generally. I don't think there's going to be many people coming from those areas. But based off of the numbers, LA would be decent coverage for 18.72%.
Chicago at 14.91.
That surprised me. But
because it can pull the rest of like the Midwest into it and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'd go to Chicago, being in Western Pennsylvania. So I think it's actually even a little bit bigger.
Actually, like several of these are pretty open to us. Like Chicago is really good. DC is really good for us. That's only like 4 hours away.
Yeah. New York City.
New York City is not too bad. You know, like, so Orlando, you can get fairly cheap flights, which is nice.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, he kind of mentioned Florida, and I was wondering, like, if you consider the surrounding areas where it would stack up. I would love to see, you know, I think Chicago would be very interesting.
Chicago would be great because it would pull people from the West as well. So, like,
Sure, right.
Yeah.
You might get people willing to fly in from the different coasts, being more centrally located.
and Chicago being a massive airport with lots of flights going in and out.
Yeah, I mean, all these is also considering like the the various airports. You've what considered here in that 14.91% is Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, like covering all that area.
Yep.
Orlando, of course, you've got Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, and I mean, New York City, you've got essentially the Northeast, and New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut.
And a few huge airports in New York as well.
Yeah. I mean, all of these places are hubs, like have large hubs, and I think could be a good option. I don't know what I wouldn't be surprised if one of these. I know Danny is looking for events in other places, so I think we'll see. Like, I think we're definitely going to see LA next year, but I'm hoping. I have a feeling it might be Orlando, but I would love to see Chicago.
Yeah, I think Chicago would be great. Yeah, I mean, and that's 15%. That's nothing to sneer at.
Yeah, it's a lot of good coverage. And again, I think it would. I mean, I would say this, like, all right, let's consider. We know Danny loves to explore and travel around. What are the benefits of Danny sticking around an area after the fact?
I mean, we already know he's done New York City. He's done because he does Anime NYC, so he knows New York City. But what about? I mean, Orlando has the Everglades. It has like there's so much, and plus, I mean, just even going to Disney. But Orlando has a lot to offer.
Yeah. I would say I'm like right directly in that area, like maybe not all that much, but if you start to think about traveling outside, like getting into like Chicago, into the Midwest, and then heading maybe a little bit more west from there, or could be a good option. In the New York and DC area, you can get into Appalachia, into the mountains, and very easily. Sad to see Dallas, a little bit lower on the list. We've been hoping for a while to see Danny out there at something, because we've been heading to Dallas most years. But
anyway, so that's what it looks like.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see what 2025 brings. But let's see. Oh, I was scrolling. I lost the scroll on there, but let's just check chat. If there is, I don't know if I can. If I can actually see questions here. You guys go ahead and try putting questions in if you do have anything while we're continuing chatting here. But, questions about 2025, whatever you want to talk about. We know 2025 is going to bring Cortex 2. We have known, like Danny talked about in those posts, that distribution in the US and the UK is something that he's really focusing on this next year, which is essentially hinging on Cortex 2 and partnering up with creators.
Yeah, and like how And he actually expressed like what a big deal it is for the right creators to be doing this. It's not like it's going to be there's going to be a selection process involved, I feel.
Yeah, and he definitely, he talked about like the right creators being like also like people who are behind Cortex. Like
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And people who are really into, being the customization of it, the STEM side of it, all that stuff. Let's see. We have a question from Lee. Where did you get those pair jeans?
Okay, I have had these pair jeans. They are actually the CJ cargo pants made for me by Michaela Frost.
Ah.
She made these for me back when we were the only ones who had a pair girl.
Ah, right.
And she wanted to know about fit and stuff, and she made those for me, and I took them out the other day and put them on. So, yeah, you want a pair of these, I guess hit up Michaela Frost.
We realized she got no shoes on.
She got no shoes on. Well, she's just cuddling around the house in her little warm things. It's like in our house, I can't wear a hat and shoes, or I will be like roasting. So I have to like choose to wear something on my head or on my feet.
Katika asks, do you have any names for the coffee girls yet? Technically, no, but I don't know how. You've got a top contender.
Yeah, we're trying to come up with a name for the two of them that kind of have some kind of a meaning, and we haven't, we haven't quite gotten there yet. It's probably going to have something to do with Japan.
Yeah, the top contenders at this point are like location names in Japan, like that we went to on the trip.
Yep.
So.
The one that I was thinking of, I just want to look it up and make sure that I'm right in what I was thinking.
I was thinking for Beyond, I've been thinking about, we've talked about like Kyoto, but I think we had thrown around like Nara.
I also was thinking of considering Nishiki.
Nishiki?
Yeah, because it actually, like Nishiki Market, but it means brocade or fine dress.
Okay.
In Japanese. So that's one that I was considering. So Nara or Nishiki were two of the ones that I was considering.
Let's see. Landymug asked about the outfit, which we talked about, the pants. This is the
Tora cardigan.
Yeah.
In pink or hoodie, and this is. Was it last year or the year before? Octopudding sent me knits, and this was one of the sets that she sent, which I think is very cute. I love a double palm hat. I have one myself.
Which is kind of funny considering she has a hood with the with
yeah,
the
but when you have long hair,
yes, I know
hoods are a pain in the hiney.
Show them off.
So you wear a hat.
Yeah. Let's see. Kathy Coney says, Kanata glasses, hope to return with the women's suit and jewelry. Yeah, we'll have to see if, what we, if the glasses make a comeback. I know he had two glasses, right? He had Kanata, and then he had Did Gemini have glasses, or did we just put? There was two different types.
Yeah, there's the Kanata glasses and the Genesis glasses.
Genesis glasses. All right.
Yes.
But what trying to say, our plans for 2025 right now are kind of like, I don't know, on hold in terms of like making more plans. So we'll see what happens. Especially with having just gone to Japan.
Yeah.
Although we do know we would like to get back to Japan, and
we'd like to make a UK trip. We think, if we can, but we have some non-smart doll related stuff to take care of. And
we'll see what happens there, and we'll have to sort of see what aligns with Danny's schedule, because maybe we can line something up with one of the creator events in the UK, possibly.
Yeah. We would definitely like to go out and do...
Although I will say this, we probably will not go as a creator to one of those events, because we can't sell in the UK.
Right, right.
But it'll be fun to,
To go and record
hang out,
things
yeah.
and do interviews and stuff like that, yeah.
I think next week we have, I doubt there's going to be that much more news. So what I think we're going to do is, unless Danny drops something crazy in the next few days, but considering they're closed, I think we'll probably take a look through the December timeline pictures of the behind the scenes stuff that Danny puts out, and see what we can piece together there. Some of which we already kind of know about, but again, we haven't been hanging out with you guys in a little while. So.
Yeah, we haven't. So we wanted to make sure we got on tonight to make sure that we wished you all a Happy New Year.
Kelly Bobber says, John's shirt on the Lady Disdain site.
I believe it is. Yeah.
I feel like it is, unless I never did it, which is possible.
I'm pretty sure you did.
I think it's there. I pardon my neurodivergent memory.
But if it's not, we will make sure that it is soon, because it is ready to go.
But yes. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Lee. So if I think this is still broken. Yeah.
Think up some questions, and maybe we'll take a look at some pictures.
Let's do this.
We've been driving around, singing songs way too loud because we wanna. Picking up our love friends, fill up the car till it bends because we wanna. Yeah, we just wanna have fun. The trunk's full of wine. We're gonna stay up, have the time of our lives. The night is young, don't need anybody else. We came to party all night long, and we don't need no chaperone. We don't need nobody's attention, yeah, we just wanna dance on our own. We came to party all night long, and sing along to every song. We don't need nobody's attention, don't need nobody else in our zone.
All right, and definitely got to take a moment, since it's the end of the year, and say a huge thank you to all of you, but most especially Barbie Witch, who has been our ongoing super smarty with her super chats every episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And our subscribers, starting with our cheerleaders, Anne Marie, Appleboy, Celestial Styles Alaska, Diana DC Brick, Dee Simone 2020, 22, not 2020, Dull Dragon, Holly K, Junathorn, Liz Marie, and Soup de Whoop.
And our sponsors, Agarva, Bizbada Redhead's Ramblings, Busy Bee, and Chemifay SMD.
And our mascots, Baggins Lover, Cocoa Cupcake, and Warsheep. Thank you all so much for your support. We're looking forward to doing more great content in 2025 and hanging out with you some more, because this is the best part of my week.
We love you all. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, and we will see you on the other side.
Bye.
Bye.